Is the late Sindiso Magaqa a victim of political killings in KZN, who has the mandate to ensure that councillors perform their duties without fear in KZN? Why is Magaqa described as a committed and disciplined cadre of the ANC? How will the ANC Youth League ensure that Magaqa is given a befitting send-off come Saturday? What time is it? It's question time. Khotsong and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho. Speaking at a service in memory of departed Young Lion Sindiso Magaqa in Umzimkhulu earlier today, Police Minister Fikile Mbalula issued a stern warning to those who murdered him. Another memorial service was held in Soweto yesterday, which is reported to have turned rowdy. This after some sections of the audience started singing factional songs linked to the ANC's presidential succession. The former ANC Youth League Secretary-General and two colleagues were ambushed in Umzimkhulu in July. While they survived the attack, Magaqa had been in hospital until his untimely death last week. At his memorial, speaker after speaker described him as a revolutionary who was committed to fight corruption, alleged to have been the motive behind his death. Magaqa rose to prominence after being suspended in the 2012 for bringing the ANC into disrepute, a case that saw then ANC Youth League President Julius Malema expelled from the party. Magaqa is reported to have remained committed to the advance and the programs of the ANC, working as an ordinary member of the Harry Gwala branch. But what lessons can young lions of tomorrow and today learn from the late Magaqa? We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest today, Ronald Lamola. He is the former ANC Youth League Deputy President and Acting President. And joining us on the line is Julius, who is the current ANC Youth League Secretary-General. And gentlemen, let me welcome you both. Well, Lamola, firstly, I saw your name on the program of the memorial service there, and whereas I appreciate the fact that you're with me in studio, I'm just wondering what happened.
No, unfortunately, I had to execute my duties and responsibilities in court today. You know, that's where I get the living. Okay. But I will ensure that I participate and attend the funeral to send this fallen economic freedom fighter, a young lion of the ANC, a foot soldier to the end, and a dedicated member that we have always known on Saturday.
You served with him in that short-lived NEC. Well, we've known Sindiso as a young, very militant man within the structures of the ANC. How would you describe his service? Obviously, as the SG of the organization, he was the chief executive officer.
He was a man of an unflinching position. When he has taken a position, he will not move him. We tried in many instances to convince him on various issues. He was uncompromising on his conviction and on his principles, and for that I will always remember him. I remember when he was suspended, there was a condition that his 3-year suspension will be suspended if he apologized to the ANC. We will every day request him to apologize because we felt it will deplete the structure.
Yes.
But he will refuse and say this will affect the autonomy of the Youth League. The Youth League leadership must be led and elected by young people. The ANC must not intervene. That was his belief. But he ended up agreeing. At last, midnight, around 12, he issued a one-line apology to the ANC and to Comrade Malusi. And unfortunately, the apology was not captured by many media houses. We argued that he apologized. The ANC argued that he did not apologize. And as a result, he did not come back to the structures of the Youth League. But for that, you will see that he's a man who was uncompromising. He believed in the autonomy of the Youth League and on the resolutions of the Youth League. So when he has taken a position and said, these are our resolutions, he will defend them to the bitter end, and he was prepared to suffer for that conviction.
Jabulo, the circumstances under which Sindiso died are really disappointing. Yes, we understand that there's an investigation that's ongoing, but speculation is that this inter-ANC or intra-rivalry within the ANC.
I think the memorial service today also shed some light around the circumstances surrounding the death of Comrade Sindiso Magaqa, which mainly are linked to the issues of corruption that he was fighting within the municipality. Those are some of the suspicions that are coming through. It is really disappointing that you see such a young leader having to die at the barrel of a gun. This is a person we're still expecting for him to contribute a lot to the movement. He was already a living and shining example to all of us on how we should serve the organization best. But we have said today, and we are very happy with the commitment that the criminals that met that Comrade Sindiso Magaqa, they must be identified and it must be dealt with quite severely. And also it must also serve as a strong warning to those who want to protect corrupt people within administrations, that there is no space for corruption. And as such, if people are corrupt, they can't then come and kill people. They will be arrested and they will be dealt with and be given the harshest sentence they can be.
Yesterday's proceedings at UJ were somehow, disappointing. But I then thought to myself, well, I mean, if the Youth League was able to do this to Ahmed Kathrada, who is Sindiso Magaqa, this is exactly what happened in Durban. And I'm talking about circumstances under which you were prevented from speaking. How did that make you feel?
Well, actually, myself, I was not that hurt, but I really felt for the family of Sindiso Magaqa, which was there present. And yesterday was a memorial service. It was not a memorial lecture. I think that distinction is very important. However, we don't welcome any form of distraction or any form of howling of any leader of the ANC. We have come out very strongly to say that people must not disturb platforms. Even if you disagree with the person, there is a way in which you can engage with that person and not become a howler as it portrays the organization in a very bad way. What happened yesterday was very unfortunate. Even on the other incidences where there were disruptions, we have distanced the ANC Youth League from those disruptions. Even on the issue of Ahmed Kathrada, which was a memorial lecture in Durban, the ANC Youth League clearly said it is not going there to cause any particular disruption. Even now, with the case that is in court, we've said that no member of the Youth League was told to go there and actually make any howling or was mobilized to actually go to that particular memorial lecture and cause disturbance. But it is really unfortunate that such had to happen in front of a family which had came there to listen to the ANC Youth League and former leaders of the organization paying tribute to their family member, Comrade Sindiso Magaqa.
Bongi, you are in Rustenburg. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
I'm speaking to Bongi, my class.
Okay, go ahead.
Magaqa was a coward. We can't learn anything from him because he said he was not him that wanted to take the mines to be under government. Then when they were fired, he just go back to the ANC. He failed to fight what he was fighting for. Then how can we learn from a coward like him? That guy was a coward. We can't learn anything from him. Thank you.
Whoa, okay, Bongi. They're saying, well, Magaqa was a coward. I'm not so sure. I wasn't very clear why he would say so. But you are a generation in the Youth League. Your peers are running the EFF. Is there a missed opportunity within the African National Congress to put at the center stage the agenda of economic emancipation of the majority of the people?
Yes, there is a huge one. I mean, if you look at the fact that not only in the AFF, even the leader of the DA is a 34-year or 35 years, he's our peer. And in many of the structures of the ANC, it's comrades who have made a meaningful contribution in the past 20 years. I struggle to understand why they can't allow a new generation and say, guys, we have played our role, let a new generation comes in. The whole world is changing, is becoming younger and younger. And with the current third revolution in the world and dealing with the automation and the replacement of human beings by machine, you now need IT-savvy, techno-savvy individuals who are going to deal with the cutting edge of technology. And I believe that the ANC and the current generation of young leaders in the Youth League and in the ANC must come together irrespective of their faction and whatever, including the current leadership of the Youth League. And I appreciate the fact that the current leadership, comrade, the Secretary-General we are with on the line, they have given us a platform to mourn and grieve the death of Sindiso. And I think this should be used as an opportunity to unite all young people in the country to rally behind one agenda, to seize this ANC, to take it to a new generation and drive the struggle for economic freedom. The Nelson Mandela generation, the Walter Sisulu generation, when they defined a program of action, the defense campaign, they never sent anyone to implement the program on their behalf. They implemented a program because that generation that was leading the ANC at the time was now believing they were leading a gentleman's arrangement. And even at this time, I don't feel the serious energy in dealing with monopolies. I mean, 20 years into democracy, we still have monopolies in all sectors of the economy. So I think that is the part which the new generation of the ANC must rise up and ensure that they seize, and they must never believe and think that this will be handed over to them. But we must take over this space. The death of Sindiso, not only for the Youth League, but all for all political parties in the country who believe in the emancipation of the African majority. It's an opportunity for uniting everyone to speak one common voice in his memory.
Okay. Wise, welcome.
Good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon to your guest. Look, Paul, let me first say, may the soul of Sindiso Magaqa rest in eternal peace. I just want to correct a big mistake that was made by the first caller, Bongi. Bongi, let me tell you this, my brother. Sindiso was not a coward. Sindiso, he had hoped that ANC one day is going to change. But what we can learn from him is that all those who are in ANC hoping that ANC is going to change, they must leave the ANC, because the ANC is a political party that consists of a group of criminals like who are even killing their own people. Now, what I'm trying to say is, how do you believe a man saying that the corruption we must fight corruption? The same man, Jabulo Nzuza, is defending a corrupt president. These people are corrupt to the core. Oh, the Makosi Koza, it's time for them to leave the ANC. The ANC is finished. The ANC, they even kill their own people. These people are not in ANC for the poor people, but they are in ANC for their own stomach, for the fact that they can even kill their own people. That shows that thing. So Sindiso was not a coward. Sindiso had hoped that ANC is going to change one day. And all those who left ANC, they must learn from this situation of Sindiso. Because if you go back to ANC, you're sending yourself straight to graveyard. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Wise. SG, let me allow you to just comment quickly before we go to a break.
That the people who have killed Comrade Sindiso Magaqa are ANC members. And the ANC has not treated anyone as corrupt. We are saying that investigation must be conducted to deal with any criminal element that shows its ugly head within the ANC. Sindiso Magaqa was never a coward. He stayed true to his principles. Even right now, as we talk, the ANC is starting to yield to the ideals of economic freedom in our lifetime, which is why we have been very consistent to this generational mission. So you cannot say that the ideals that Comrade Sindiso Magaqa lived for, he abandoned them. He never abandoned them. What you must know is that in the ANC we are called to serve. And when we are called to serve, we can be called to serve at a regional level, at a provincial level, or even as a general member of the organization. And Comrade Sindiso Magaqa epitomized that particular principle that says in the ANC you are there as a volunteer of the movement to the bigger cause of our people.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and I hope that we'll have a better line there because I seem to be battling. 089-1104-210, and we shall return shortly.
All right, we talk about a healthy lifestyle, but what is this healthy lifestyle?
What we're talking about really is you are healthy in those three areas of life: body, mind, and soul.
Before you embark on a weight loss journey, rather first speak to your person who has your complete clinical picture.
Ideally, your plate should look like this. Half of your plate should be fruit and vegetables. A quarter of your plate, starch. Quarter protein.
Show you some of the things that I really enjoy doing for that bottom pouch as well as for cardio. So you do your kicks, you kick back.
Join Health Talk every Saturday for all your health news.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Our guest today is Ronald Lamola. He's the former ANC Youth League Deputy President and Acting President. And we've been having Jabulo Nzuzo, the current SG of the ANC Youth League, on the line. I'm not so sure if we have him still because the line was quite bad. But Ronald, what inspires young people today to identify with this youth league, which they are seeing whether in court in KZN or at the memorial service of Sindiso, disrupting this and that, or whatever? Not that youth league that said, let's go to the JSE, let's go to Pretoria to demand economic freedom.
I think the disruptions are indeed unfortunate. We can't say those are in memory of Sindiso. They are unfortunate. And we have also said to the family we apologize for such. But what has inspired our generation with Sindiso for the 24th National Conference was with regard, you'll remember the generation of Mandela and Walter Sisulu had a generational mission of freedom in our lifetime. That's what inspired the message of economic freedom in our lifetime. We had a mission, we had an agenda. We wanted to see the economy being deracialized, and that's what led to us Sindiso marshalling one of the biggest marches from Johannesburg to Pretoria to highlight to the whole world about the injustices, the face of poverty, which is young people in this country, the face of inequality, which is majority black, that those that are poor are in their majority black. But during that economic freedom march, one of the demands was free education, which Sindiso also believed, which is at the height of the current youth in this country, fees must fall, which Sindiso believed if young people are given proper and quality education, they will be able to uplift themselves out of the current poverty.
Tsakani, welcome. Hi.
Yes, it's just unfortunate, Mr. Sedu, that what we have seen recently in ANC is very confusing and disturbing. With this regard, you may is comparing the ANC of then of the President Nelson Mandela and the others with the recent one. It is lost in the thick air with what is happening because they seem that they are confused with what they are focusing on. To an extent that they even see it necessary to kill each other to settle their political difference and the stuff. Yes. They may be taking the other sense and other things where they're fighting for free education and the stuff, which they are not even doing so entirely because they are focused and the energy is on the cause, defending ANC, defending what ANC is doing wrongly to such an extent. And
Tsakani? Oh, Tsakani is gone there. Well, he's basically saying the two ANCs you're referring to, the Mandela's one and the current one, are different. And yeah, indeed, the circumstances are different. But what should give hope to young people?
I think what should give hope is what Sindiso stood for. The fact that he died in the firing line fighting corruption. He died on a defiance and a rebellious campaign, believing that young people must be at the center. You'll remember the generational mix he was fighting for, the autonomy, the economic freedom. So at least young people across the country should know that at least in the ANC there is still that sense of hope, and that hope is within them. A new generation must be born, and from that new generation we can reinvigorate the ANC, because we need to learn, even the ANC needs to learn that from the organization of Kenneth Kaunda and many liberation movements across the African continent, that a liberation movement that does not infuse new thinking and a new generation will be abrogated by irrelevancy.
Yeah. Well, what is happening now is that we're going to December, where there's going to be an election of a new leadership, so to say. And some are saying Sindiso belonged to this camp and not the other. Julius even came out to say, hey, he was about to join the EFF and all that. Which Sindiso should we remember?
You must remember a Sindiso that was defiant, a Sindiso that was militant, a Sindiso that wanted to see change, a Sindiso that believed that the ANC can be renewed and be revived. And that's why he attended the policy conference where he made contributions. He was still in the municipality dealing with issues of development. So Sindiso should be remembered as an economic freedom fighter to the core, a community activist, and a young man who was prepared to be on the firing line and to suffer for his convictions and his beliefs.
Let's go to Mogale. Is it Mogale City? Letabo, welcome.
Welcome. Good day, how are you?
I'm well, thanks for the call.
Good, thank you. Let me greet the leader, the selfless leader, cadre of the movement, Comrade Ozzy, and also the secretary, Comrade Njabulo Nzuzo. Look, Mpo, mine is to say, through the death of Sindiso Magaqa, we must learn something. We must teach ourselves, starting from today, to unite the Youth League, and equally to stop fighting the battles of old people within the ANC, but to fight the battles of young people in the country. Look, today we are called free generation, we are called lost generations, by the same old people that we are supporting, because of they don't take youth development serious. They take youth development as by the way. And who must fight that is the current leadership of the Youth League. They must make sure that through this death or through the blood that is being shed of Sindiso Magaqa, we must achieve that thing. Look, through the generation of comrade that was led by Comrade Magaqa, they made sure that they come up with a strategy to say, let's fight economicism in our lifetime. What is the current leadership of the Youth League is doing? Look, we are faced with so many challenges as young people. We must not fight the battles of young people. Okay,
let's have it. Before you go. But it is the same old people that you're complaining about who are using you young people to fight their battles in the ANC. I'm saying it is the same old people who you're complaining about who are using you young people in the ANC to fight their battles.
But yes, hence I'm saying, as young people, we must unite and fight to find a space, to find expression within the ANC, find a space to lead within the ANC. Look, we've got former leaders who've got credible credentials to lead the ANC, like Comrade Ozzy, Comrade Lebogang Maile. I can name them, the list is endless. So, as members of the Youth League, we must be proud of such leaders that we have produced from the Youth League. So they must ascend the position within the ANC so that they can start raising questions of young people there.
Thanks very much, Letsabo.
Thank you.
Who should delegates of the ANC vote for in December? The caliber, the character?
Obviously, it's a character that is going to ensure that the ANC return to its values of Artambo, the values that the many fallen heroes of the ANC stood for, and the values that are properly enshrined in its books. and a person who is clear that he is going to deal with the triple challenges of unemployment and poverty, the triple challenges that the country is facing. And that person must also be clear in terms of the issues on the economy, to de-racialize the economy of this country. It's unacceptable, important. 20 years into democracy, the face of wealth in South Africa still has a white person, a white male. I think that's what we need to deal with. But all in all, young people must fight to invade the NEC of the ANC. They must take over the NEC because, as we have said, the world is getting younger.
Ronald Lamola, thank you very much for your time. And indeed, we pay tribute to Sindiso Magaqa, a young lion of the African National Youth Congress. Is going to be laid to rest this coming weekend. May his soul rest in peace, and may the blood that continues to be spilled all over our country please cease to do so. That was Question Time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the entire crew, I have a